not judgmental. That's not true. I am, but not towards those particular people. Let's talk about flags. Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Deron for Super President. This is the show about the guy who looked at late night hosts and decided to copy everyone's least favorite part, which was the monologue. Weird. Now I get to look at the rest of the show and say, I can copy this just as well. Moving on from there, we have our State of the Nation address. Currently, we have 1,035 citizens of our fine nation of Jar. Now, for proper comparison, let's take a look at gummy bears. You know, for scale. CandyWarehouse.com defines gummy bears as they're soft, they're chewy, they're translucent, and they're bursting with a berry yummy flavor. There's nothing quite as whimsically delicious as gummy bears, a candy popular the world over for its sprightly personality and fruity taste. Squeeze them, line them up, and make them dance. Keep them in cages near the border. No, or just plain eat them. Bears. How many gummy bears in a pound? About 195. Now we've got our magic number. So for comparison to that 195, we've got about 1,035 citizens, which would be 5.307 pounds, 2.407 kilograms, or if you line them all up end to end, a horrifically painful stomachache. And in case you're wondering how these bears are, we've gone to our correspondent in the field, Gibby, a verified buyer, 5 stars. Haribo gummy bears. Best bears I've ever had. Which begs the question, Gibby, which bears have you had? Let's talk about our news segment, News. It's not all that bad. Now for this week, let's talk about Puebla, Mexico. Just so you know, there are 2 Pueblas inside of Mexico, and one is inside the other one, kind of like how Mexico City is inside of Mexico country, and how the cold dead stare of a Sour Patch Kid is inside of the cold dead stare of a child in a sugar coma post-Halloween. This last week, Puebla State, a population of 6.17 million people, and one of the 32 different states that make up the Union of Mexico, decided to overwhelmingly legalize gay marriage. 2020, take the good where you can find it. Now we can't just flash a thumbs up to Puebla and just be on our way. We need to take this time to launch 2 new segments focused on Puebla. First off is Food from Around the World. I'll come up with a better title. I just haven't yet. The first dish we'll be talking about is mole poblano, which was not only invented in Puebla, but also people consider to be one of the most, if not the most, synonymous Mexican dish you can get. Now, it takes a bunch of different ingredients, like 20 plus, depending on the recipe you're doing, but one of the key differences between this and a lot of other recipes is you've got peppers on this side, and then you've got some sugar and chocolate on this side, or if you're doing the more traditional recipes, you'll have cocoa powder. But apparently, that's not as easy. Now you could pour this wonderful dark mixture over anything you want. Bed frame, a car, your cousin. You could pour it on some snow with a stick in it and make this Canadian fun snacks that some people know. But mainly people pour it over top of turkey. And I'll have you know, if you ever have the opportunity to eat mole poblano, you now get to immediately say yes to eating mole poblano. It's that good. It's just that good. Unless you've got dietary restrictions. I'm not judgmental. That's not true. I am, but not towards those particular people. Let's talk about flags. Now we have our segment called Flag Watch. Let's take a look at the flag of Puebla, Mexico. The state, not the city. Again, distinctions are clear and important. So we've got this blank white background. Inside the middle of that, if we zoom in and enhance, you've got this wonderful coat of arms here. We've got the feet on the sides, Cinco de Mayo in the middle, you've got everything from dams to arms to what looks like maize, but the real key that we do need to get at here is this is not the flag of Puebla, Mexico. This is the coat of arms of Puebla, Mexico. It goes on a white piece of paper. They got there the night before the assignment was due, and they said, well, we did the coat of arms last week, and it's due in 20 minutes. Hand me that glue. Now, this completely cannot stand. This doesn't have the proper care and depth that goes into every single mole poblano. No, I've decided you all need a new flag. Now, I know what you're thinking. It would be culturally insensitive of me, a white Canadian man, to go and design a local state flag for Mexico. So instead, I'm just going to give them time to come up with their own flag. And in the meantime, I've come up with a placeholder flag. Boom. Now from there we'll go on to a segment called Quotes, or Notable Quotables, or Yum, eat 'em up, they're words someone said. Now I've decided that the segments will swap out week to week, but I want to end off every single week with a quote. Now you might ask, Deron, is it because quotes fit here? I don't really care. I love quotes, and I can do what I want. So, to bookend the start of the third season and the end of the first show, I will leave you all in the famous words of the British comedian James Acaster, which is, "You're warmer in a bush than on a bench." Thank you. So this has been your super presidential candidate, Deron, signing off for Saturday, saying welcome to Jar Jar Takes All Kinds, and you are family now. This is the start of the third season. I know, it's the same, but different. I feel like I've got a lot of teeth I can sink my teeth into, like a teeth-filled donut. Please let me know what bits you like, what bits you don't like. I'm going to be building slowly onto this. I expect this to be very rigid and until I kind of get the hang of it, so like, you know, but that's the thing. I didn't really want to make it polished to start out with. I want to set the bar really low and then kind of almost get that, but not quite. And then over the next 5, 10, 15, 450 episodes, in the new format, however long this season ends up being, I want to be able to get extremely polished and good at doing a bunch of mini segments, because I don't think people really need to hear me rant about podiums for 10 minutes straight, when I could make a mini 30-second rant about podiums and then a bunch of other 30-second rants about everything else in the world. So let me know what you think. Hopefully this came off pretty good for episode 1. Who knows? And I will leave you all in that viewer-submitted conline for jar, the viewer-submitted mono for jar, which is Mam dona pamen lem, miu dona pamen e ia li ita miu mam li ita. See y'all on Monday for the slightly not as updated, it's much more like the original version of the community show. This episode has been brought to you by Luke and Rachel, two wonderful people from the beginning, from the start, all the way through till now. The third start, the start again, starting back up, third gear. Yes, let's do it. Thanks.